Euclid's Elements, Book 4, Proposition 12. About a given circle, to circumscribe a pentagon that is equiangular and equilateral. So in the last prop, we made a pentagon inside a given circle, a perfect pentagon, a regular pentagon. This time we're going to do it outside. Our first step is we're going to use the last prop 411, and we're going to inscribe a pentagon that is inside this particular circle. So it's going to be, so let's do it here like this. So let's call this point A. Let's see. Okay. B, C, D, and E. So we're going to use the prop from before of inscribing a equilateral equiangular pentagon inside, and then we're going to take those points where that pentagon touched the circle. And at this point, we don't need our inscribed pentagon anymore. And now we're going to, at the points of contact of each of these, we are going to, and by the way, this is going to divide our circumferences, our total circumference up into 5 equal arcs. So that's might be worth pointing out. Arc AB is equal to arc BC and so on. So here we're going to inscribe a pentagon in the circle. And then we're going to use the points for our next step. Now, at every point that we found in here, we're going to draw the tangent line at each of those points, A, B, C, D, and E. So using, and this is prop 3, the book 3, prop 16, the porism. We're going to draw a tangent line at A. We're going to draw a tangent line at E. We're going to draw a tangent line at D. We're going to draw a tangent line at E. And a tangent line at B. And we're going to extend them until they intersect. So let's call those points of intersection G, H, K, L, and M. Okay, that is our pentagon, and it is circumscribed around a circle. And now all we need to do is prove that it is equiangular and equilateral. So the way we'll do that, we're going to, step 3, we're going to find the center of the circle. Let it be F. And from this center, we're going to connect FB, FC, FD, as well as FK and FL. And the important thing here to note is that since this is the center, and if we draw a line from the center to the point of tangency, to a tangent line, then it's going to contact that line at a right angle. And this is book 3, prop 18. So it tells us that this is a right angle, these are right angles, and this is a right angle. All right, so anyway, angle FBK and angle FCL and angle LDF are all right angles. Now let's consider these two triangles. What we have here is we know that FB and FC are equal because they are radii of the same circle. We know that FK is common, and we know that we have a right triangle here. So using, this is our fifth step, using book 1, prop 47, the famous Pythagorean theorem. And remember, the Pythagorean theorem says if we have a right triangle, right, the square on the sides containing the right angle are equal to the squares subtending the right angle. So namely, the square on A plus the square on B will equal the square on C, the hypotenuse. Or A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So that's true because of both of these two triangles. So it means that the square on FB plus the square on BK will be equal to the square on KF. So let's say that the square on, say, FK is equal to the square on FB plus the square on BK. Likewise, in this right triangle, the square on FK is equal to the square on FC plus the square on KC. So the square on FC plus the square on KC. But these are obviously the same thing. The squares on FK are the same. So these two things, which are equal to the same thing, right, are therefore equal to each other. So these two things are equal to these two things. But the square on FC and the square on FB, since they're equal, they are both equal to each other. So we can remove them from the equation, and that means that the remainders are equal. So we know that the square on BK is equal to the square on KC. Well, if the squares are equal, then we can unsquare them to know that the line BK is equal to the line KC. So this is equal to this. Now, once we know that all three sides are equal, right? We have side 1 equal to side 1, side 2 in common, side 3 equal to side 3. We can know, using book 1, prop 8, our famous side, side, side proof for the equality of triangles, to know that these triangles are equal in all respects, that all their corresponding parts are equal. In particular, we know that this angle here is equal to this angle here. Furthermore, we know that this angle here, right, is equal to this angle here. And we might even just give them numbers so we can keep track of them. So we'll call this angle 1 and this angle 1, and they're equal to each other. We'll call this angle 2 and this angle 2, and they're obviously equal to each other. And that means this whole angle, right, is equal to double this, and this whole angle is equal to double that. So we'll just put that there too. So this whole thing is just times 2 of any one of those, right? And this whole angle, BKC, is just double any one of those. Okay, so we could do the same thing over here with this triangle. Okay, it sets it the exact same way, and it will tell us that this angle and this angle are equal. And it also tells us that, just like over here, these two angles are equal. So this angle and this angle are equal. Because again, these are just mirror image triangles that are equal. They're mirror images of each other, just like this situation here. All right, so if we want, we can label this. We'll label this angle 3. And we'll label this angle 4. Okay, now let's go back to what we knew from up here in step one, and that is that all of these arcs are equal. So arc AB is equal to arc BC, arc BC is equal to arc CD. So let's take that arc BC, which we've kind of wiped out here, but it's under there. Arc BC is equal to arc CD. And we know that when we have equal arcs, that the angles that stand on them are also equal. So that means that the angle that stands here, these two twos, BFC, so angle BFC is equal to angle CFD. These two twos are equal to these two fours, which means that this whole angle is equal to this whole angle, which means that when we cut them in half, right? So since these halves of equals are still equal, therefore all the twos are equal to all the fours. So let's just change the value of this from a 4, right? We'll just say, hey, this is the same as a 2, because this whole thing and this whole thing are equal, and halves of equals are still equal. So this is a 2 and this is a 2. Now let's look at these two triangles. And what we should be able to see is that we have an angle equal to an angle, another angle equal to another angle, and the line in between the side equal. So this is angle, side, angle equal to angle, side, angle. And if we remember, this is book 1, prop 26, our angle, side, angle proof for the equality of triangles. And it tells us that the triangles are therefore equal in all respects. In particular, CL, right, is equal to KC, and angle 3 is equal to angle 1. So let's rewrite angle 3 to its new value, or the same value, but it's now equal to angle. It's now equal to angle 1. So we'll just put that in there. So we can see these two triangles now are equal in every respect. Angle 2, angle 1, and so on. All right, now we just have to show that this figure we've created is equilateral and equiangular. My orange pentagon that's been circumscribed around our given circle. All right, if we look at this, if we bring HK over here, the same thing we did here, proving that these two are equal, we can prove that these two are equal in all respects. In particular, we can prove that this HB, so we can prove that HB is equal to BK. But remember, BK was already proved equal to KC. And in fact, this entire line, KL is simply KC plus the same thing, but plus a line equal to KC. So KL is equal to just 2 times KC. And this whole line, HK, it's equal to BK times 2. BK and BK, because those are equal. And these are equal to each other. Since BK and KC are equal to each other, HK is really equal to 2 times KC, which means that these two lines are exactly equal. And we can do that with the same logic. We can show that all 4 sides of all 5 sides of our pentagon, right? KL. So basically, we can show that KL equals HK equals LM equals MG equals GH, which means everything is equilateral on our orange pentagon. Now we just have to show it's equiangular. And it's very, very easy to do because we've already done all the work. Angle KL is equal to double angle 1. Well, angle KLM is equal to double angle 1. Therefore, they're equal. And by the same logic, we can show that this angle is equal to this, and this angle is equal to this, and these angles are equal. And therefore, all 5 of these angles are equal. So let's put those in. We know that this is equal to this. We know this is equal, and this is equal. So we have shown that all 5 sides are equal, it's equilateral. All 5 angles are equal, it's equiangular. Therefore, around a given circle, we have circumscribed a regular pentagon, a pentagon that is both equiangular and equilateral. Since that was what we were supposed to do, we conclude our construction proof. QEF.